Well, full time at the Metropolitano Stadium, Arsenal won and Atletico Madrid won. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where you're watching us from? Remember the names of Rokani David. Smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Big football game, that we are here and we really have lots of talking points in here onto this particular game because a lot of drama in here, VAR inconsistency, and what a way to cheat the club of Arsenal. To me, it was really one of those moments where I got to know that we lost our fun of football because there is no way you tell me that that wasn't a penalty. That touch on Ebelechi Eze, there is no way you tell me that it wasn't a penalty. It's 100% penalty on any day. Smash like button, comment and share, and continue to subscribe because we want to hit the magic number. But in the 44th minute, Victor Gyökeres was brought down, and it was some good inter-pass changing, between Odegaard and Martin Zubimendi, who played in Gyökeres. Gyökeres was brought down and the referee pointed at the spot. Obviously, the ball was with him and the defender of Atletico Madrid went ahead to bring him down and the referee went ahead to point at the spot. Now, Victor Gyökeres went ahead to obviously put that penalty into the back of the net. And indeed, he has gone ahead to convert each of his last 27 penalties for club and country, a run stretching back to March 2024. So, since 2024, we haven't gone ahead to see a man known as Victor Gyökeres miss a penalty for club and country, meaning that whichever penalty he has touched, it has gone ahead to obviously cross the goal line of the opponent. It shows you how lethal the player is and how he has gone ahead to find himself scoring his third goal of the Champions League against the same team. We all know to it that way back, I think last year, Victor Gyökeres went ahead to score his first two Champions League goals for Arsenal against a team known as Atletico Madrid. And now, here we come to see this guy going ahead to score the third goal in the competition for him against the same team. He was really, he really worked hard, I tell you. And he was that workhorse in that forward line that obviously went ahead to really see him really do the needful. Now, when you look at his total tally number of goals in the Premier League, he has 12 goals. He has 5 goals now in the Champions League. He has 5 goals in the Champions League. Yeah, there are some others that went ahead to score, right? But 3 of those, he has gone ahead to score them when he's playing against Atletico Madrid, taking his tally to 17. He has 1 goal in the EFL Cup. Obviously, that is Victor Gyökeres. And those are 18. And I think he has 1 goal in the FA Cup, if I'm not mistaken. So he has 19 goals so far for the club of Arsenal this season. And I think if he hits 20 goals a season, I tell you, he would have gone ahead, obviously, work himself out very, very well. So that's all about a man known as Victor Gyökeres. And I think he really played really very, very well. Though he was later taken off and the manager brought on Gyökeres Jesus to lead the line. Now, at halftime, it ended 1-0 in favor of Arsenal. Then Benjamin White went ahead to obviously make another howler. And I was really pissed with what Ben White went ahead to do because it really spoke volumes onto why everyone wants him out of this club, because you can't be into that 10 years box area when your hands are all spread to that level. What he did was really unforgivable to me. Unforgivable, and there is no way I think Arteta was okay with him in the locker room after that game of football really came to pass. That penalty that he gave away was really very stupid. But it shows you what Arsenal has gone ahead to obviously do as a team and what they've gone ahead to achieve. With this draw, Arsenal are unbeaten. Arsenal are unbeaten in the Champions League. And they've gone ahead to equal their record that they did in 2005. Sorry, they did it between March 2005 to April 2006. You know, they went 13 games without being beaten. Now, this time around, Arsenal equaled their longest ever unbeaten run in Europe / UEFA Champions League, going 13 consecutive games without defeat for the second time. So, in 2005, 2006, Arsenal reached the Champions League final and they were beaten in the final by Barcelona. And you know what happened? Arsenal found themselves in a position really getting a red card, and then Barcelona had to level up. But Arsenal had already gone ahead to obviously take a lead, in the final. So all what you're talking about looks like history is being written. And why do I think that Arsenal is one of those teams that are likely to win the Champions League this season? It's because in the Champions League, a team that concedes the least number of goals has huge chances of lifting the trophy. And Arsenal has only conceded 6. 6. Now, all the teams that are really left in the semi-finals, they've gone ahead to concede. I saw Atletico has gone ahead to concede, is it 25 goals? Bayern, PSG, they all concede very many goals. So, when you watch that game very well, Arsenal managed it very well. You get? It was under their control, and you saw to it that when the manager went ahead to make substitutes and brought on Saka, Eze, Trossard, and Gabriel Jesus, that's when I think Arsenal had the most possession of the ball into that particular encounter. That is it. So, they have a squad that can come up and obviously do the needful. Though they had some bad news of Martin Odegaard. He's injured again. Now, whatever is going into Martin Odegaard's life, I don't know. But he's a player that they need for the effective orchestration of that system of Mikel Arteta. That is it. Eze came on, played very well, and I give him credit. But I think when you are having Odegaard in there and Eze fully fit, I think it really makes a lot of sense. Now, this is what we call broad daylight cheating. This is what we call broad daylight cheating. This guy was brought down in the penalty, and the referee went ahead to point at the spot. And I don't know why they went ahead to obviously say this is never a penalty. Yet he obviously went ahead and obviously really went to the side monitor. And every time they really played this, it gave me only penalty vibes. And indeed, it was a penalty. It was a penalty. And I want someone to come and urge me out that it's not a penalty. That's what I want to hear. I want someone to come and tell me, because of this and this wasn't a penalty. That's when I'll be like, maybe I'm new or I'm a novice in the game of football. But if you look at this very, very well, tell me how that isn't a penalty. Obviously, There is contact. There is contact. You understand? This is contact. There is this contact and there is this contact. And who wins the ball at first? It's Ebelechi Eze. He takes a touch, that sees him get out of reach of this player, and this player brings him down. I've gone ahead to see, is it Mark Goldbridge, ask himself a question that if that foul was committed outside the 18 yards box area, wouldn't it be a foul? At the center line, wouldn't it be a foul? So if it's a foul at the center line, at the edge of the 18 yards box area, what stops it to be a penalty in the box? Or what stops to be a foul in the penalty box? So I think VAR is inconsistent about this. You understand? So I want to see this called out by the responsible people. And though I think the referee had a very good officiation, not until this came to pass, if he's supposed to be penalized, let them penalize him, because if Arsenal wins this game by 2-1 at Atletico Madrid, they would have gone ahead to go at the Emirates, knowing that all we need is to protect ourselves from not losing. But at the Emirates, they will obviously be working tooth and nail to obviously looking for a win. And if at all they are knocked out, this referee will always have blood on his hands. That is it. But Atletico too went ahead to obviously have some good chances, I have to tell you. And those chances saw them hit the woodwork twice. I think Ademola Lookman hit the woodwork, and again, a player known as Antonio Griezmann, they went ahead to hit the woodwork there for you. But Julian Alvarez, a player that Arsenal is hugely interested in signing, went ahead to obviously score a penalty. Beautiful penalty that saw the goalkeeper not moving. Remember, the goalkeeper first went to Pena, the goalkeeping coach, and was like giving him notes and briefing him about the penalty taker of Atletico Madrid. But I think they're a little bit confused whether it's going to be Griezmann or Julian Alvarez. Not until Julian Alvarez went ahead to get hold of that ball and really came and gave him a hard shot that left him helpless in between the stitches for the goal of Arsenal. So he now has 10 Champions League goals. Man in fine form. I don't remember the last time Atletico Madrid went ahead to have a player who scored 10 goals in the Champions League. And they are pushing hard to see to it that it really happens. But another change that was made in that game of football, especially in positions, it was Declan Rice being played as a CDM and Martin Zubimendi being played as a box-to-box midfielder. And as I told you that in the modern day game, you need those two being able to rove around in each position. But consistently, the manager told Declan Rice, don't make up front runs, and you saw to it that he was disciplined. He was played next to the back four of Arsenal, and he was like, we need to obviously defend like that, knowing that he's one of the fastest players to track back, and Atletico Madrid plays on the counter. The manager was like, Zubimendi won't handle this. He would have gone ahead to be able to receive that ball from the back four and really knock it around, but if they are hit on the break, there is no way Zubimendi would have gone ahead to obviously be able to track back, but Declan Rice is the right man to hand over that job, and he did it very well. And they never went ahead to score from open play, and they scored from what we call a penalty. So that is all about a side known as Atletico Madrid and Arsenal in there for you. Declan Rice playing as a 6 and Zubimendi playing as an 8. And I think if I told Mikel Arteta, even in the Premier League, I apply that. I know Atletico Madrid don't have a lot of activity into the midfield because they operate so much onto the wide areas of the pitch, and those over the top balls. But in the Premier League, apply that, because I know going forward, Zubimendi is a better player than Declan Rice. That is it. But I don't know how he'll play them when they're playing against a team known as, what's the name? When they're playing against a team known as, Fulham over the weekend. But I think the manager will go strong in there for you. Now, the stats are as follows. Atletico Madrid 14 shots, Arsenal had 8, 5 shots on target for Atletico Madrid and 2 shots on target for the club of Arsenal. 51% ball possession by Atletico Madrid. Arsenal had 49% ball possession, 495 passes completed by Atletico Madrid, 480 passes completed by Arsenal. 84% passing accuracy by Atletico Madrid and 89% passing accuracy for the club of Arsenal. 6 fouls for Atletico Madrid and 10 fouls for the club of Arsenal. 1 yellow card to Atletico Madrid, 0 yellow cards to the side of Arsenal players, keeping discipline in there for you. No red cards issued, 0 offsides to Atletico Madrid and 1 offside to the club of Arsenal. 6 corners to Atletico Madrid and 1 corner to the side of Arsenal. These are two teams, when it comes to defense, their discipline is really the most high. You know, they really defend very well, and these are some of the teams that have gone ahead to score goals, very many goals this season, through what we call set pieces. And Arsenal is one of those, and Atletico Madrid is one of those, meaning that if you are good enough at really scoring set pieces, you must be good enough to see to it that you defend them very well. But all in all, on Tuesday, we'll get to know who is in what we call the final of the Champions League first, because they are coming in throughout the Emirates, and we will be here watching vividly on who has to do what into that particular kind of game. So that is it for the match reaction. But all in all, I loved what I saw, and I saw Noni Madueke do his trickeries in there for you. And I don't really understand why people are really going at this guy. Now, if we are to speak the truth, without having agendas over players, tell me, of the two had a better game, Noni Madueke and Bukayo Saka. Saka is just trying to get back to his levels. That's why in my preview, I started him, and the manager went ahead to say, no, Saka hasn't reached a level of obviously starting a game. The levels of him coming in through off the bench are what he's at. And I think the manager is trying to protect this player and see to it that he doesn't wear out and get back onto where he deserves to be, because this season and last season he has showed us that he has been really off, and he has gone ahead to play many of the games. Sorry, he hasn't played many of the games, and his form is really deteriorating in there for you. So I don't know what your thoughts are about that, but all in all, Arteta was a man who was unhappy. And for the previous 2 games that Arsenal has gone ahead to play, he has come and vividly attacked the referees in their face of VAR. In the game of Newcastle, he said, when we are cheated against Man City, Kai Havertz brought down by Koshanov, and Koshanov not sent off, I kept quiet because we never won. But in this game of Newcastle, how does Nick Pope stay on the field of play after committing that foul to a player known as what's his name? To a player known as Gyökeres. And he said after the game of Atletico Madrid that if Eze is brought down, that is supposed to be a penalty. Clear penalty, and it was not given. So we wait and see how the second leg will go on. But I remain Rokani David onto the Rokani Media Football. And I'm out. See you next time in here and continue to subscribe. 20-minute video, match reaction for you.